Welcome back. We're currently at a desk in the Marauders Guild. We're going to finish up the Brutal Strength quest, the second part of it. So we need to head over to Middle Lenosha. Now, I wonder specifically where. Yeah, so best to go to the Zephyr Gate. There. Also, while we were off stream. Oh, not off stream, sorry. Out of the episode, I went ahead to Lower Lenosha. No, where is it? Western Lenosha. I went to Western Lenosha and I picked up the Swift Perch, Aetherite, which is what I said I was going to do, and I did it. So yeah, I just got to get back into the habit of attuning to Aetherite. Playing for so long with not having to do so makes you forget to do so. You just go into a place and run around, especially in these places, because you know I've seen them so many times. I get used to just walking in. So there he is there. Right. Scat for Goom. Alas, I know why you're here. After seeing this big old boulder, I'd wager you know why you're here too. Now my rock's a bit more of a challenge than those pebbles the Rodgium had you training on. If you're to crack this beauty, you must needs a swing with no less than a mind to sunder it. Impossible, you say. Ha! Worzian wouldn't send you out here if he didn't think you capable. Alright. So, we need to skull sunder. Huh. That wasn't that bad. Ha! Would you look at that? And on your first attempt too. Well, I guess it's back to Axemaster for you. Wow. Wow. I feel stupid now. Like, this could have been the end of the last episode. Especially considering that the trip actually took longer. The Choker Porter actually took longer than I expected it did. And so I got a whole bunch back for the episode. Well, I can just teleport back to Limsa. I mean, it's a free destination. Okay. So we need to go to the Marauders Guild. Alright. Wernzoen. I knew you would return before long. The deafening crack of shattering boulder reached me even here. This feat of strength deserves recognition, and you shall have it in the form of a new technique. Adopted and perfected by our guild forebears, the tomahawk throw was devised by pirates as an opening attack on closing enemy vessels. It's like he just hands it to me. Though we primarily focus on close quarters combat, you will no doubt find that having a powerful ranged strike at your disposal greatly expands your tactical versatility. I sense that the impending confrontation with Kujata weighs heavily on your mind, Scarlett, but hurried swings lead to glancing blows. There's no swift road to attaining the peak of mastery you seek, only a steady, measured ascent. Alright, so we're going to get the axe, and I think I wanted this, because it's the one that we don't, all these Sabatons. Although it doesn't, this is actually, well no, it's not better, but I mean that, yeah, we'll go with that, because tenacity is a lot better than skill speed. And we don't need dexterity, so we'll go with this. Alright, we got Tomahawk, which means we now have a ranged ability. Alright, so let's equip this. Quickly, boom. It's blue. And this war axe, yeah, we want this as well. Yep. So that circlet is still going to be weighing our item level down, and so is this stuff here. Unfortunately, the accessories don't really kick in until like level 20 or something. I can't remember, to be honest. But yeah, it's much later. Okay, so we'll hang on to that, I suppose. And that axe can go out. We don't need it. We've got Nana April running around us for some reason. Alright, and those two are for conversion. Alright. And we'll move these elegant stuff and all this here. Go down there. So we don't need any of it. We're not crafting on this character. At least not immediately. If we do, it'll be after like completed Stormblood and probably Shadowbringers. And once the tank's level 70, once the healer's level 80 by that point. Max level. Let's go with that. Cover all bases. Alright. So we need to be level 20 for that next quest. However, we can hit up these quests. So what I might do is I might teleport. Actually, yeah. So I'll teleport to Zephyr Gate again, and I'll go to Lowell and Osha, and then we can run across there. Finally turn in that quest. It's not going to give us a lot of XP anymore, but we'll finally turn it in. Alright, so let's run this way. This level 12 Gobu we can take on, so I'll show you the Tomahawk ability. Come on, there's the range. So it's literally a ranged attack, pulls you in. Enemies, it's really good for dungeons. To pull in like a group of enemies without aggroing like something further down the line or whatever. We will take on this one. We need 4. Wow, okay. Wait, what's that? Oh, it's a hunt, I assume. I've never actually seen it. I think that might be a rank S. Vogyal. Vogyal. Stay away, because that is hostile. And it'll one-hit us easy. Because not only is it level 50, but it's technically like dungeon boss tier. Maybe even more. So it's not really level 50. Like one level 50 character wouldn't be able to go tit to tat with it, but level 70 might be up to. Or level 60 might be able to actually. I think level 70 might just walk all over it. Alright, let's talk to Ostfear first. He's got a level 7 quest, I'll leave that. So thinking a bit ahead, in regard to the healer, so leveling your second class is technically easier, even though you don't have the main story quest to help. You do have what's called an armory bonus, so you get 100% extra XP. I think I might have mentioned it before, I can't remember. And it's basically to any combat class that's below your maximum level or your highest level. So for instance, if I were to make a healer, get it to level 20, this Marauder would get an armory bonus to its level, to leveling, to XP and stuff. Which reminds me, I haven't consumed the Marmot's Sake yet, and we also want to get our minion roulette on. Okay, another Moogle, or a Moogle. Alright. So these are the windmills at Red Rooster Stead. They look very cool. They were non-existent in 1.0, which is kind of sad. But 1.0 was very samey from what I can see. Alright, what's your quest level? 7. So we'll just hand this in. A miller with no fleece is an artist with no canvas, a poet with no words, a man with no purpose. And here's your sack of fleece, or your sack of purpose. Curse that blasted courier. Do the sheep stop growing? Does the mill stop churning? What entitles him to rest? Bah! Let him count sheep in his bed. The wool is at last mine, and soon the felt shall be wrought. Flatbread. Okay, going forward, yeah, I'm not gonna bother. It's half my level, basically. So what I'm gonna do, yeah, I think I've interacted with that. I don't know though, probably not. What I'll do is I'll cut the episode here and make that trek down, and then I'll come back when I'm down there. So yeah. Okay, we're back early because I found another mossless gobu. A goobu. Yeah, goobu. So we'll just take this down from the hunt log. And we're about halfway there, so I'll keep it going because there's some hostile creeps going further on, and just in case I get attacked, it's on the video kind of thing. I don't know, what level's your quest? Level 11. No, thanks. Take it easy. A bridge too far. But it's right here. So that's Moraby Drydocks down there, where a lot of the ships get built. There's also a leave meet here, so you can get leave quests. I'm pretty sure, unless I've gone senile or something. I vaguely remember it being there. See, so the wild jackals Getting attacked by those is what I was concerned that would be, like, not on the thing. And it's something. Oh, it's a feat. Let's not take part in that one, because that one's a pain in the butt. Basically, any with, like, the face mean that you're fighting a big monster. And while some can be tolerable, by yourself, they're often either a long slog or impossible. Like, for instance, there's one in Eastern Lenosha on the Bloodshore, where you fight a big crab, a big megalo crab, and as my main character, which is a ninja, I've been unable to, even touch him. I've tried it as a summoner, and that didn't work either. Though I have been able to, like, do it with a party of 4. And the thing is that because you've got to sink down to the proper level, I think it's meant to be difficult, like, at that level. So it's always going to be difficult regardless. So, I've never really... I might just not be capable of doing it, and other people are, but who knows. Anyway. Alright. Art Brim. You have a missive for me from Forge Master Hanazar. I assume it pertains to the pending arrival of the materials I ordered over a moon past. Let's see it then. Blast and botheration. Another delay. I am well aware of the shortage of skilled artisans, but this is insufferable. My apologies. The messenger does not deserve to bear the brunt of my frustration. Might I have your name? Scarlett, is it? Well, Scarlett, this proud maiden you see taking shape before you is the Victory, the first new vessel to grace the docks since the calamity. We may have lost the bulk of our ships that fateful day, but starting with this beauty will restore the Maelstrom's fleet to its former glory. The Victory is more than a simple warship. It is a symbol of Limsa Mince's rebirth from the wreckage wrought by the coming of the 7th Umbral Era. Thus, we are striving to complete her construction as swiftly as possible, even going as far to hire veteran shipwrights from outside the Thalassocracy, whatever, it's on the screen. Yet even with such unprecedented measures, there are never enough hands to handle the abundance of tasks. Should you choose to linger at the docks for a time, there is no end of odd jobs for a hard-working adventurer, wink wink nudge nudge. Be you fair warned, there is no place here for layabouts and troublemakers. I don't need to get the subligar anymore. It looks terrible, like, I'll show you. It's literally just hard leather underpants. It's the worst thing. And when you pair it up with the harness, it just looks terrible. Alright, we leveled up, level 17. Nice. So we'll just grab the next quest, we may as well. We're in front of it, so we're good, without a doubt. Where in the 7 hells is that man? Not once in 12 moons has he been late with a shipment, and now 2 whole turns of the sun without a single word. A shipwright of mine, a young man named Filsmid, recently left Candlekeep Quay to retrieve several crates of supplies ordered from Limsa Minsa, but has yet to return. I have sent several missives to Halbrudda, but his replies are always the same. He does not recall ever seeing the right nor the supplies he was scheduled to collect. That man knows something, and I severely doubt he's telling me the whole truth. As I cannot leave my post, I would ask you to travel to Candlekeep Quay in my stead and inform Halbrudda that if he insists on playing these games, I will personally see that he's transferred to Turtleback Island, where he can rot alone in the middle of the sea for eternity. Okay. So down there. Yep. I'll just quickly talk to this Choco Porter. Oh, that reminds me. On the way down, I did talk to the Choco Porter in Red Rooster's stead, just to get that, have that unlocked, kind of thing. Alright, now this one is up here. It's in the passageway there. It's always good to get in the habit of grabbing porters and the Aetherites. I mean, once you get your mount, you know, you may think not to do it, but sometimes you don't want to actually just sit there and travel. And traveling this way as well through an area where you're off level, or the hostile mobs will attack you on sight. Using the Choco Porter is basically a free pass past all that if you're not bothered. Not to mention, if you need to go and do something else quickly, you can set up a Choco Porter to take you where you needed to go. Walk off, do it, and come back, and you'll be there, kind of thing. In a sanctuary as well. Ooh, we'll grab these Moraby moles. Oh shit, be careful of that. I don't think that's an S, I think that might be an A rank, but I do not want to find out, so we'll keep our distance. If it was an S, during like a more common time, I guess. Yeah, if it was a rank S during a more common time, it wouldn't have been there. It would be dead. But it's a weird time, and I actually don't know. I think rank S's take like special conditions to spawn. So that might just be rank A, because it hasn't been spawned itself. I mean, if it was spawned by someone, they would be attacking it now. Or gathered around it to get ready to attack it. Alright, so that's completed, so now we want to head down to Candlekeep Key. This is just here. Oop. What? Oh. Finger's in the wrong spot. No, I just went back into the Drydocks. Good job, bro. What an idiot. Let's try again. It's not that lighthouse, so I actually want to go over here. I mean, ideally I could have just jumped off the top thing, but there's hostiles up there, so if they would have seen me at the last minute, then it would have been game over. Okay, it's good, so we don't need to talk to that Mender. Halbroda. Oh, whoops. Doubt. You question Halbroda. Fiddleback Island. He cannot do that, can he? I swear I'm in poor Nana's grave. Navigator rest her soul. I know naught of this Frill's mood, nor his precious supplies. Hells, we here at the Key have had enough trouble these past few suns, What with this, the sinking of that Leminson cargo ship off the Salt Strand, I haven't the time to take a proper piss, let alone make note of every scrag that wanders in off the grip. Yep, we'll just do this last one. Now, the way I see it, if you have time to be standing questioning my character, then you most certainly have the time to get your that arse of yours down to the Salt Strand and help us search for survivors of the wreck. Not really. Who knows? You may just run across that this Fieldsmid everyone seems so eager to find. He's to hoping the navigator hasn't found him first. Run over here. This is a very cool area. Oh, there he is. Hi, I'm Fieldsmid. You say the foreman's wondering about on me whereabouts. I thought he might be, but you must know I cannot show my face at the dry docks until I've righted the terrible wrong I've caused. 2 nights past, I made the trip from the dry docks to Candlekeep Quay, just as the foreman asked. The ships were right rough. The seas were right rough, and the captain of the cargo ship was wary of bringing her too close to the cliffs. So I paid a few coins to a fisher to take me out to meet her. By the time we was half twixt shore and ship, I think that's meant to be betwixt. Halfway betwixt shore and ship, the swells had risen to nigh on 10 yalms, and it wasn't long afore the waves had hold of us. Try as we might to steady the boat, nature's grip was too tight, and we was flung headlong into the Leminson galley. When I awoke, both ships were gone, and the cargo I was to collect lay strewn across the Salt Strand. I's made an effort to salvage it, but the sands are crawling with curran, and I ain't a one with a sword. Now you see why it is I cannot return to the dry docks. So these are curran. Oh look, they're on the hunt log. So C is a good way to pull him away from the pack, so we don't get aggro from the rest of the pack. Now granted, it's not that efficient in dungeons because they're generally tethered together, so they'll one will aggro the rest. But you know, if there was a group here and a group over there, we could pull them back here so that they're not likely to just spot us while we're fighting over here. Grab this. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Alright, so again, this is another kind of situation where I'd want to be doing this. And the good thing about Ninja was Ninja has an ability which is a massive shuriken that it throws, and the range on that is rather far. So it's a really good way to like completely stay out of harm's way and just pick at the enemy that you're in. Unfortunately though, you don't get that until level 30. You have to use your throwing daggers prior. I don't actually need to be attacking these anymore because I don't have them on the hunting log. We're almost level 18. Is that it? Yep. Why level 18 is a big deal is the... Damn it. I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was going to spawn as soon as I got there. Dungeons, unless you play them in a specific, with a specific setting, if you matchmake with a dungeon to get a dungeon party, it level syncs. So the highest level for the first dungeon is 18. So we've hit that level cap and we're nowhere near it. That's what Road to 60 does. That night I was tossed into the sea like some doll of rags. Sea like some doll of rags. Okay. And it weren't long afore the world around me faded to black as I slipped deeper into the abyss. But Eo, the navigator, wouldn't see me to the gates of the seven hells, and I woke to find myself washed ashore. And here I's been ever since, waiting for a chance to salvage me master's cargo. Well, I seem to have it. That was rather slow. The missing parts. I don't know how I can repay you. I'll deliver the supplies right away, but first I must stop by the quay so that I might pay me respects to the widow of the brave fisher who gave his life for a handful of coin. Could you tell Atbrium that I'll be back at the Drydocks by nightfall? Many thanks, adventurer. I'll not forget this kindness. Alright, so, benefit is we can now teleport back to the Drydocks rather than having to worry about walking back, getting lost. It's not that far, but it's still a nice to have. Yeah, through here I think I can go. Yeah, there it is. Alright. I'm relieved to hear that both Fields Mid and the supplies are unharmed, though it was foolish for him to believe that I would blame him for that which was obviously out of his hands. You see, there was no storm that day, and the seas here adjacent to Drydocks were as calm as a slumbering child. Leads me to believe that the trouble of the ship encountered off Candlekeep Quay was of less unnatural sort, the sort which the Sahagan have been known to conjure. Yeah, no, obviously. We're going to keep our level 15 war axe and we'll grab the bronze. Brass daggers. Yep. Bronze pieces. Alright, so this is where I'm going to end the episode. The next episode we will talk to Atbrim again and get continuing on with the quest, because we'd really like to get well, I'd really like to get to the dungeon, the first dungeon, as soon as possible, because the higher level we get, the worse. Well, not the worse. The higher the level we are, the less benefit we get from the dungeon kind of thing, and it's a little bit more of a cakewalk, which I wouldn't like. But I guess, you know, advantage for first-ish time tank. Anyway, that's it for that episode. We will continue on next time and talk to Edbrim.